Welcome in, everyone, to the Talking Kentucky postgame show. My name is Coleman Scott. His name is Brad Harvey. And we're here to talk about what was a very disappointing performance tonight, to say the least, as Kentucky loses to Missouri 38-21, I believe the final score was. I didn't even watch the last minute or two of the game, so I don't know if that was actually the final score, but I think it was. Okay, Brad shaking his head, 38 to 21.
Yeah.
Felt like it could have been even worse. But yeah, absolutely disappointing performance from the Cats on all fronts. And there's plenty to talk about. But this is what I'll start with. One of my keys to the game tonight, to beating Missouri, was not beating ourselves with stupid penalties. And Kentucky had 14 penalties for 122 yards. And that is just beyond unacceptable. Unacceptable is like, that's not even a good word for it. I mean, it's not even a strong enough word, Brad.
A very undisciplined team.
And it's one of the most undisciplined Mark Stoops teams that I can ever remember. I mean, when you think of Mark Stoops
football, I'm going to say this. They kind of started this path last year, but it seems like this season is even worse.
It is. And I agree with you that they started this path last season. Last season, we saw all these unnecessary penalties, just these boneheaded beat yourself mistakes. I thought that would be corrected this year because I thought that was just a fluke for Stoops teams. Stoops teams don't play like that. Well, we're not playing.
They haven't
this year either.
But the last year and a half, well, really the last year, it started about in game 5 or 6 last year, something like that. Last half of the season, pretty much. And if you look at the last half of last season and the first half of this season, and they just aren't good. I mean, guys, really. I don't know what else to say to it. I will say this. What happened? I mean, they're up 14-0 and seem like they're rolling. Ray Davis has got nearly 100 yards, 90 something, something like that. 70, 80, 90 something, in the first quarter. We have 151 yards of offense in the first quarter. And I think we wound up with like somewhere around 250. So we had basically 100 yards of offense the last 3 quarters.
Yep.
I don't understand. I mean, how do you go from such a good-looking start to just a beatdown? We got beat 38-7, after the first quarter.
Yep. And let's go back to what you said about the fast start. Okay. Stoops said in his press conference on Monday, I guarantee this team will be ready to play against Missouri. And to his credit, they were. They came out, they started fast.
They looked like it at first.
They looked like we were just going to run them out of there. I thought, oh, we're winning this game. We're going to be 6-1. I didn't have any doubt. I cannot remember a more disappointing collapse after a great start than this one. I mean, I have never seen 2 more complete different football teams from quarter to quarter than I saw tonight. Absolutely crazy.
And I'm going to give you guys some stats, okay? And if you would have told me before this game that these were going to be the stats, I would have said that there's no way that Kentucky doesn't win this game. And I'll give you some stats real quick. So Brady Cook only had 167 passing yards. All right. The 5th leading passing yards quarterback in the country had 167. The leading yards and reception receiver had 2 catches for 15 yards.
Yeah.
And we held them, and we held their main back to 71 yards rushing on 20 carries. So how in the hell do they rack up 38 points?
Well, and Mike brings up a really interesting stat here. I was wondering about this actually. I didn't know this for sure. But Mike Dowd says we had more penalty yards than Leary had passing yards. I was wondering, Brad, I was like, there's probably an amount of yardage in our box score that the penalties were more than that amount of yardage. And that's exactly right.
We had 122 penalty yards, and Leary had 120 passing yards.
Yep.
But what I'm saying is defensively, if you look at the stats that we had, I don't think it's that bad a night. We had 7 tackles for loss. We held Brady Cook to 167 yards. We held Luther Burden to 2 catches for 15 yards. And their running back only had like 3.4 yards a carry, 20 carries, 71 yards.
Jonathan says Leary is a major disappointment. And I think he is at this point. I wasn't ready to say that through like the first couple games, but and ever since the start of the season, yeah, he has looked disappointing, but I wasn't really sold on, man, Leary's just not who we thought he would be. And I'm ready to say that tonight, Brad, that Leary is just, he's just not good. I mean, we're what, 7 games in now, and he hasn't shown.
Here's what I'm going to say. So there were 2 plays, Coleman, that broke our backs, and I mean absolutely broke our backs. Okay, Leary hit Anthony Brown in stride, wide open, down the field on a 3rd down play when we were up 14-7. And inexcusably, I mean, he just drops it.
Yep.
That's not on Leary, guys. I know Leary late in this game was pressed and was trying to throw it in like a cannon in tight windows and threw a couple of picks and did not look good. And then the second play is what Mike Dowd's talking about. The fake punt broke our backs. Those 2 plays,
that fake
broke
punt,
our backs.
Let me say this. I think that fake punt, I knew from that moment on, and I know you're not going to believe me. I knew from that fake punt on that we were losing the game. Like after he caught that fake punt, I said we're going to lose. That they're going to come back. We're going to lose.
They literally had 206 passing yards, and their damn punter had 39 of them in a touchdown.
And Jonathan Williams get asked this: why don't we make a change at the quarterback position, Brad? I thought the people talking about Kyra Sharon after the Georgia game, you were a little ridiculous.
I'm still not there, guys. I'm still not there. I got to give Tennessee, and then we'll see.
Why didn't you throw Kyra Sharon in at the end of the game today?
I don't know why we didn't throw them in at the end of the Georgia game.
Yeah, or that, right? Why not throw Kyra Sharon out there? Get
the whole 4th quarter. The whole 4th quarter in the Georgia game. Why don't you get your guys some snaps, game snaps against the best team in the country? I don't know why. I really don't. There's some coaching decisions here that just doesn't make sense to me.
And Jaden Smith says, why not run Davis more in the second half? Yeah, I feel like we just stopped giving Ray Davis the ball. Like,
we did.
Why we do
he
that?
Had like 80, 90 yards the first quarter or whatever.
They couldn't stop him. I feel like we just stopped. And that's coaching,
and then we
isn't
just
it?
stopped giving him the ball.
Like, what are we doing? Like, normally when you're up 14, you want to hand the ball off. And we started trying to pass it, Brad. Why we do that?
I mean,
And
there's some coaching. I'm gonna give you another thing. Y'all want to talk about Leary and stuff, and I'm gonna tell y'all something else. Since Liam Cohen went up to the box after his little medical issue, whatever it was, we ain't been worth a shit since.
yeah, no, we haven't. And maybe it's easier to call
Offense
plays up
wise,
there.
we ain't. The only damn game that we looked good is when we dominated the line of scrimmage against Florida. And at this point, we dominated Florida last year in the second half and beat them. We dominated them this year and beat them. At this point, right now, it really don't mean a damn thing.
Yeah.
If you can't back that up the next 2 weeks after a dominating win against Florida, who, by the way, come back and won at South Carolina tonight and is now sitting at 5-2 and ahead of us in the SEC because we have 2 losses.
A lot of people down here in the comments are talking about Mark Stoops. Jonathan Williams says Mark Stoops is either blind or stubborn. He refuses to change things to make a difference. Why not give someone else a chance? And Brad, it feels like, I can't even get excited when we go up 2 scores or more anymore because I'm like, well, Stoops is just going to play conservatively and then the other team's going to come back. And the big piece of that pie is at the end of the first half. And I have a stat, Brad. I don't know if you've seen this yet, but it's going to blow your mind. This comes from Corey Price, who, by the way, is going to be on our show next week, I think. So just a little plug there. That's some positive news.
Corey's great with stats. So
yeah, Corey's awesome. But Corey said Kentucky has allowed 34 points in the final 3 minutes of the second quarter, their last 4 games. 34 points in the final 3 minutes of the second quarter, the last 4 games. That is embarrassing, straight up, Brad. I mean, that you cannot do that. So,
I agree, and I don't know how it's connected. I don't know, but I'm telling y'all, since Liam Cohen went to the booth, we really ain't played for the damn. And he's not calling the game well. He's not. I mean, he doesn't look like the same play caller. He just doesn't.
So how much of this, Brad, do you think is coaching and how much do you think is mental? Because we came out firing on all cylinders tonight, looked like we were going to run Missouri out of there, and then it just stopped. So do you think that is coaching? Do you think it's the players' mentality?
So I think they had a game plan early. I think they had a game plan. They probably had 10, 15, 20 plays, sketched out, and had a game plan, and we come out and executed it and done well. And then after the game plan's over with, then you got to call plays in tune with the game and how the game is going. And you got to be able to see the plays. You got to feel the plays. Like from the booth, the coaches who do that like it because they have the eye in the sky and they can see it, okay? But there are some offensive coordinators who are better off with the feel of the game on the sidelines. And that's the reason why you see offensive coordinators on the sidelines compared to some of them in the booth. So on the sidelines, you get a feel of the game. From the box, you get a sky view of the game and you can view it better. And right now, I really don't think that Cohen, just like what we were talking about just a few minutes ago, when Ray Davis is running like crazy on him, and then all of a sudden we just stopped giving him the damn ball.
Yeah.
Why?
Exactly. And I don't know if you saw this stat too, Brad, but in 7 of the last 8 quarters, all right, Kentucky's been outscored, obviously. But what do you think those numbers are? What do you think Kentucky has been outscored in 7 of the past 8 quarters.
Well, so we lost Georgia 51-13 and 38-7. So that is 89-20.
89-20. You got it.
89-20.
That ain't good, Brad.
You think?
Yeah, that ain't good. 89-20, 7 of the last 8 quarters. How does this Brad White defense give up 89 points in 7 of the last 8 quarters?
When you look at tonight's stats, there's no way that you can look at our stats and say we gave up 38 points.
Yeah, it's beyond frustrating. Frustrating is, again, like I said at the beginning of the show, an understatement. So we're going into the bye week now. This is what we didn't want to happen, right? We didn't want to go into the bye week coming off
the bye week playing Tennessee, and we have for years.
Well, yeah. Number one, we suck coming off the bye week. Number two, we suck playing Tennessee. So now you combine them. It's Tennessee off the bye week, and we're coming off these 2 losses. Whew, it's tough. And then, Brad, you go to after Tennessee, you go to Mississippi State. Then you come home, you play Alabama. Then you go to South Carolina, and then you go to Louisville. There's an argument that this was the easiest game left on the schedule. Now, South Carolina, Louisville, I can see an argument where those could be the easiest.
I don't think this is the easiest game left on the schedule. But Missouri's got a good team. Missouri's way better than South Carolina or Mississippi State. Yeah. And I'm not so sure that Missouri's not better than Louisville.
Yeah.
Louisville got beat 24-0 in the second half tonight and lost at a 1-4 Pitt team. Okay. They were 1-4.
Yeah,
okay?
they did lose to Pitt
and
tonight,
lost by three scores or something, three or 4 scores.
Yep, they did. They got.
They lost bad. So
by Pitt.
I'm not sold that this Louisville team is the end all beat all. You know what I mean? Like right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I certainly don't think South Carolina is better than this Missouri team. And I really don't think Mississippi State's better than this Missouri team. But having said that, those 3 games are on the road.
Mike Dowd says both of those games are away. We never play good at Mississippi State. Yeah, see, that's the thing. I agree with that.
Having said that, all 3 of those games are on the road.
Yeah, and especially Starkville. We just do not play well in Starkville. We never have.
Yeah, I think this Mississippi State team is not good.
But are we good? But are we good? That's the thing.
No,
we got to ask ourselves.
This is one of those. It's like the Florida game. As much as I like stomping Florida, and I do, I'm a Kentucky fan. I really like stomping Florida, but as much as I like it, it's like fool's gold every year.
Yep, it is. That's a perfect way to explain it. I've heard
it's Kentucky like fans, fool's gold.
I've heard Kentucky fans for many years explain it as fool's gold. So,
it's like we get excited, like, oh my gosh, we dominated Florida, and we did. Yeah. It looked great. 329 yards rushing. Ray Davis has 280 yards. And we dominated Florida. And then we look like we can't even play. 89-20 in 7 of the last 8 quarters.
Yeah, exactly. And Jaden says, and Brad, you talked about this a little bit after the Georgia game last week. Jaden says defense can't sit back in soft zone or they will get burned. Brad, that happened again tonight.
I said it last week, Jaden Smith. I really did. I promise.
Yep. And what's going on?
Matter of fact, I wrote a Stadium Rant article this week, 3 keys to Missouri. One of my keys was defense can't sit back and play soft zone for the first 10 yards, basically, of a route. And that's how a couple of these drives, that's the reason why he only had 167 yards. It's 5, 6, 7-yard dink passes that we just back off of, and they're easy pitch and catch. I mean, when you're throwing 6-yard passing routes and you just leaving them wide the hell open, what do you think's going to happen?
Right. Tim Beeson has a question here. More or less, now you can win one of the last 5 games just to make a bowl game. Last 2 games makes you wonder if they can. Yeah, so, I mean, we win one more game. Obviously, we're bowl eligible. But, Brad, after tonight, what do you think our final record is?
I'm over that mentality, Tim, just to be honest with you. I'm going to be honest with you. Here's my thing, guys. So I really like the job that Stoops has done to build us to where we are. However, having said that, it seems like we're awfully stagnant since we got here.
Yeah. Yep.
The last 2 years, it seems like we're awfully stagnant. And now it's almost like, well, maybe we can get to that 6 or 7 wins. Yeah. That's the mentality Kentucky had before Stoops was here, hoping to get to 6 wins.
Exactly.
And I'm not, I am not going to be okay with going back to that.
No, right.
I can promise you.
Right. Well, the way I look at it, I'm not going to pick us to beat Tennessee.
Deion Walker played good, Clyde. I see that you.
Yes, he did.
Hairston played good. And Davis, of course.
Those are the 3. And
Deion Walker had 4 tackles for loss. He had a sack. He had about 7 or 8 tackles. Deion Walker played good.
Yeah, he did.
Hairston had another pick.
He did. That's his 5th of the season, I believe. But I'm not going to beat us to pick Tennessee because I'm just not, because we don't. And then I'm not going to beat us to beat Mississippi, even though Mississippi State is bad, Brad. I'm not going to pick us to beat Mississippi State because we haven't won there in a decade.
Well, let's see what happens with Tennessee. Does Tennessee walk into Kroger Field and mop the damn floor with us, or mop the field with us?
Right.
I mean,
exactly.
Well,
and then you come home, you play Alabama. I can't really pick us to win that game. I think you beat South Carolina. I think you beat Louisville, but that's 2 more wins, so that would be 7-5, right? And I think that's realistically probably.
And I'm gonna be honest with you, 7-5 is not it.
Nope, it's not.
It's not it, y'all.
That's
if you guys are Kentucky fans and have been along this ride with what Stoops has done so far, 7-5 is not it. And I would say that if Stoops was on the phone right now, 7-5 is not it.
Nope.
It's just not.
It's not. We can't say, well, it just shows how far the program has come because we would have been disappointed with 7-5, or we would have been excited at 7-5. No, we're past that point. We're expecting that at a bare minimum. That is a disappointment. We're wanting 9 and 10 win seasons now consistently.
7-5 is not it. I can live with 8-4. I want 10-2 or 9-3 is what I want. I don't, there's a group of Kentucky fans who was, well, why not Kentucky? Why can't Kentucky win 12 games? Or why can't Kentucky go 12-0 or 11-1? I'm not there yet, guys. I mean, I think we've got some steps to go. It's pretty hard to pick us to beat the Georgias and the Tennessees and the Alabamas of the world right now. Okay. I can't, it's hard to do that. I actually picked Kentucky 8-4 at the beginning of the season. I wanted to go 9-3. I picked them 8-4, but Jaden Smith, you're exactly right. Got off topic here. What in the hell is wrong with our punter? The last 2 weeks,
dude, our punting sucks.
The last 2 weeks, Georgia was the same way.
Yeah.
Tonight, they were blaming it on the wind and everything at Kroger Field tonight. And I'm sure it was a windy day. I was out in it most of the day today. I was working. So, it was a really windy day, and I'm sure that plays a small part in it. But holy shit, I can kick the ball 22 yards.
Yeah, I know.
And I'm 49 years old, guys.
Dude, yeah, and our punting game has been so good. Obviously having Max Duffy and even Colin Goodfellow last year, right? Our punting has been good.
22-yard punt. I mean, hellfire. Won't you just let Leary stand back there and kick the ball? What the hell do we need a punter for?
But that's something that
I'm serious as a heart attack. Why the hell do we even need a punter if he's going to kick the ball 22 yards?
That's something we've taken for granted over the years, is being able to flip the field. That's something that's really important, is field position in a game, right? And we've taken it for granted with these great punters that we've had. And this year we see how much of a difference it's making in these games. Caden says throw Big Z up there. I bet he can kick it. I bet he could.
Anybody can kick it 22 yards. Hell, I mean, you can get a 15, 16-year-old high school kid and they can kick it 22 yards.
Tim says Louisville will be the one. If so, only day I would say that game is being an interstate rivalry. Throw general rules out the door of those games. Yeah. Interstate rivalry. Yeah, it is. Yeah, Josh Hart says get a soccer player punt. Yeah, let's go over to Soccer Cats. Let's get one of them, Brad. I bet they can punt it a little further.
I mean, hell, let's get a women's basketball player. They can kick it 22 yards.
It probably can. Yeah, Emma King. I bet she can. Yeah.
I mean, come on, guys. That's ridiculous.
It is. It is.
It's time to jerk them off scholarship, if they're even on scholarship. Some of them might not be.
Hey guys, we want to hear from you. So give us a shout. Tell us your thoughts on the game. Vent about the game. 502-234-1504. We'd love to talk to you about the game. So
go ahead and vent about this punter. I mean,
vent about the punter. Yeah, vent about the punter. So yeah, give us a shout there, or keep making some comments or questions down here in the feed. We're loving everybody that we have on here watching with us. Got some new people on. And if you haven't already, like our page, Talkin Kentucky. We do post-game shows. We do an episode every week. And then Brad is joining me as a guest tonight.
SportCast as well.
He's got his show called College SportCast. Y'all also need to go follow and check out. But
absolutely, Mike Dodd. Leave Leary out there to throw a 40-yard interception's better than the damn punter. Yeah. I mean, 100%.
A throwing punt. Yep. No, listen, I agree. I agree. I think we're getting a call here. So I think this is Josh Hart that's giving us a call. Josh, how's it going, man?
You know that old Hank Williams song, There's a Tear in My Beer?
I don't know that song, but I'm going to look that up tonight.
And I'm crying for you, dear. Lord, good night. What in the holy sleep happened to us tonight?
You can't sum it up better than that, Josh.
My beer.
Man, I tell you what. I was up 14-0. We was up 14-0. I was dancing a jig. I was like, here we go. We're going to smash these clowns. We're going to finally. And then I was like, what? And what? We stopped running Ray Davis and started throwing Devin Trash Leary out there to let him throw. And another thing besides Leary, you know who else is trash? Barry and Brown's trash. Dan Key's trash. They're all trash.
They can't catch it.
Sit them down and put in some freshmen.
Dan Key has the most drops in college football.
And hey, guys, if you're trying to call, I think we have more people calling in tonight. If you're trying to call right now, I can only take one call at a time because this ain't KSR. I only have an iPad over here, so just keep trying, and we'll get you on if you're trying to call. So yeah.
All right, some real quick stats because I know we got a lot of people trying to call in. I don't see how the hell we lost. How did we lose? 19 first downs
after that start.
That's what I said.
Yeah, after that start.
19 first downs for Missouri, 24 for us, or 21 for us. I'm sorry. Penalties. Oh my God, I don't even get going on about that. Like you said at the beginning, ridiculous. Leary had 2 interceptions. We had a fumble that wasn't a fumble. We had a pass interference call that was a pass interference. That was the biggest bunch of horse crap ever. It's just
that was a bad call. That was a bad call, Brad. You see that pass interference he's talking about? I thought that was back. And now the refs isn't the reason we lost, but that was a bad call.
It was.
So,
and why is Stoops always standing on that side? That dude has no fire right now. Every time they pan the camera to him, you're like, he's got his arms crossed, or he's just standing there. He's got no fire. And I'm like, what the heck are you doing? Get in the ref's face. Get in their ears. Say, hey, Missouri held and held and held, and the refs would not throw the flag.
Yep.
I watched this game, unfortunately, on the phone because I can't pay $10 extra a month for SEC Network. But they held and they held and they held, and nothing was called.
Yep. No, I agree with you. There were a couple. There was one big hold on Deion Walker. There's one big hold on Deion Walker that I think the coaches saw, and they went absolutely ballistic because it was pretty obvious and it wasn't called. So yeah.
I looked up the quarterbacks we have for Kentucky right now. We have Leary, we have Deuce Hogan, Shane Ham, Kyra Sharon, and Destin Wade. My thing is, Stoop needs to prep somebody else during his 5 week, be it Kyra, be it Destin Wade, or Deuce Hogan, or whoever, and have somebody ready for the Tennessee game. I'm not saying, really, I think Larry should ride the pine now. I was all for Larry. That dude's trash. That dude is, I don't know what the hell we were thinking, but they have to, Holman, get somebody else ready for the Tennessee game. Because if say Larry comes out in the first half and he's just straight trash, they need to have somebody to go in the game and pull Larry out of the game.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I completely agree with
who it is. I don't care if it's Brad Harvey. Throw somebody in there that can throw the daggone ball. And like Brad said, get somebody that can punt the ball.
Yep.
What is that?
Yeah, no,
absolutely.
The punting is crazy. So I know, man. But
a damn cheerleader can punt better than that.
Watch your show. I'm not gonna, quit watching post games. I'm gonna still support you. I'm still gonna, try to up it up to the $25 a month or whatever it is. I want to support Brad and his show. I'm done with Wildcat Sports Talks, but that's another issue. But they're disrespectful. But anyway, I love you guys, man. I know you got a lot of callers, so I'm gonna let you go. It's just like I always say, go Cats, but man.
Go Cats, but man. Thanks for calling in, Josh.
But man, yeah, no kidding, Josh.
Appreciate it. Give us a shout, 502-234-1504. As I said before, it ain't KSR. We're not that high end, bro. We got these fancy overlays now, but we're not high end enough to be able to put people on hold and stuff like that. So go ahead and give us a shout if you tried calling in 859 somebody. We'd love to hear from you. So,
Josh is really right on a couple of things real quick. When you look at the stats, it just doesn't look like they would outscore us 38-7 in the last 3 quarters.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
One of them's a 39-yard pass by the punter. Speaking of punters, their damn punter can have a 39-yard TD pass, and we can't even kick the ball more than 25 yards.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think we're getting another call here. I think this is Clyde. What's up, Clyde? Well, I would ask how you are, but it's none of us are good. So
do I really need to get started?
Yes. No, I know, man. It's crazy.
Stoops Truth. What is even that? Never heard of it. Don't even know it existed. This is such a joke. I don't give a shit what Stoops has done for us. What about now?
Yeah.
How the heck have you coached in the SEC for since 2013? And all the talent you've had, you have yet to beat Georgia, you have yet to beat Tennessee consistently, and you have yet to go to the SEC championship when I've seen all these other coaches that are not as good as Stoops make the SEC championship. How does it make any sense? How in the hell did Brian Kelly in his first year at LSU make the SEC championship? How is that even possible?
Yeah, I know, man. It's and I feel like after these big losses and things, people are like, well, man, like, Stoops, it's like, is he cutting it or whatever? But Stoops has done a lot for this program, and Stoops is a great coach. But it's definitely times like these where he makes some decisions that are questionable, and especially getting into the Stoops thing with the pony up comments, Brad. It's just not great timing. Right. It's just not great timing.
No, it's absolutely not great timing. Not when you're going through what we're going through the last 2 weeks. I mean, absolutely no. 100% not good timing.
But I think we're getting even more calls.
Is Clyde? Clyde's not with us?
No, he is. But I think more.
Okay.
We're popular. The one thing is, after a loss, everybody wants to talk about it. So I feel like post game shows after a loss, everybody has more to say.
I want to say this while Clyde is on the phone with us, and I don't know if Clyde can hear me or not. But
can you hear Brad? Can you hear Brad, Clyde?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Hang
go
on,
ahead, Brad.
So there was a couple of guys in the comments talking about Stoops and 2- and 3-star players. And I want to get one thing straight. Kentucky has 30 blue chip star players on this team, the most that they've ever had in the recruiting rankings era, which started in 2002. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And that means 4 or 5-star players coming out of high school. Kentucky has 30. Okay. That is inside of the top, I think, 30 in the country. It's like 27 or 28 or something like that in the country, and like 8 or 9 in the SEC. Kentucky has more talent on this team than they've ever had. Yep. And that is why I am so upset about what's happening.
Yep. Absolutely. Well, Clyde, how you feeling about the rest of the season, man? What do you think we finish?
Man, we won't win a single game, and honestly, I'm done with Stoops. Tonight was just it, bro. I can't really handle this anymore. It's just I'm tired of
it's lackadaisical
every single year.
It is.
It just sucks to not be respected, not be elite, and not be top tier. It's pathetic. And we thought Stoops was going to change all of this, but he has led us nowhere.
Yeah, no, I agree, man. Well, I think Stoops has led us to new heights for sure, but there certainly are times that are frustrating.
It's stagnant.
It's stagnant. That's the word. It's stagnant. But man, Clyde, thanks.
Coaching options than Stoops. I'm just saying, but yeah.
Clyde,
anyways, I know more people are calling in, so I won't keep you all.
Yeah. Thanks for calling in, venting your frustrations, man. Thanks for calling in as always.
Absolutely.
All right, thanks, Clyde.
All right. Hey, you're on with Talkin Kentucky. Who's this?
Yes, this is Tanner.
Tanner, how's it going, Tanner?
Hey, Tanner.
Pretty good. How about yourself?
Oh, we've been better, but that's all right.
Well, I was the one saying the 2 and 3 stars, but I was talking about the offensive line.
Yeah.
Besides Dagger, however they say it.
Dagger, yeah.
Who has been in the top 300 that we've had in the past 4 years besides him?
Well,
been better than a 3-star offensive lineman.
Well, I think the guys that we have gotten, like Keontae Goodwin, have just been flops, right? I mean, Keontae's not even playing college football anymore, and I know he's got some personal stuff going on, I think, in his life. But and then Matt Elam was a high-rated offensive lineman that was a complete flop at Kentucky.
He played nose guard.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah, he played nose guard. But but still, like these linemen in the trenches, like have not lived up to expectations when they have been 4 and 5 stars. And you're
Well, the
absolutely
one I'm
right.
trying to think of his name.
Yeah.
A couple of years ago, he was the left tackle, got drafted by the Kansas City Chiefs.
Uh-huh. The NC State kid. Yeah, who's the NC State kid, Brad? On the offensive
The
line
running
right
back,
now.
Demi?
No,
I said Leary.
You talking
Leary.
about-
Okay.
At NC State, and now I've got the dude from Northern Illinois on the offensive line. That's the tackle.
Thank
The
you.
Northern
John.
Illinois.
Darian
Yeah, okay,
Kennard.
that's
He was
right,
a 4-star guy.
But yeah, you were talking about Leary. Sorry, I didn't hear you there.
Yeah, Leary, 2021, he was great. And I heard on the game tonight that he loves the up-tempo offense, and that ain't what we run.
Yeah, and that's the other thing that's sort of like mind-boggling, right? Statistically, we are the slowest moving offense in the country.
And I thought
Tanner,
I thought getting Cohen back would remedy that a little bit.
Yeah,
and we're still slow as shit.
I know. Well, Tanner, I don't know if you agree, but I think when Leary has looked at his best, it's been when we have been moving a little bit faster, like against Vandy.
It is. I agree.
Yeah.
I don't know why we're slowing it down.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
Big runs, run everybody up to the line. Let's get a quick one off.
Yeah, no, I absolutely, man.
They think they got to have 5 subs every play.
And these Stoops is going to have to go into the portal for some receivers. I love the receivers we got. This last thing I'll say, then I'll let someone else call y'all. But he's got to have some veterans at receiver. He can't just have Tavion and everybody else be young. I understand Brown and Key played last year, but.
Well, and the thing is, they all have experience. They're just not catching the ball. It's like it's the most inexplicable thing, that I've ever seen. But what do you think we finished, Tanner? What do you think what do you think our final record will be after these past couple weeks of disappointing performances?
I mean, I'm gonna say 6-6. Well, after tonight, I'm gonna say ceiling 9-3. Floor 6-6, and the win, we finally win one at Mississippi State because I just think they're garbage. Okay,
yeah, I mean I agree. It's just hard to when we haven't won in Starkville in 10 years. It's hard to pick a win down there. But I like that 9-3 ceiling, 6-6 floor. So that makes us win one more. So
Louisville looked like garbage night too, and I mean we've owned them for the past 4 years or whatever it's been.
Yeah. So, well, man, thanks for calling in. We appreciate you. We got first time caller here, and hope to hear from you again, man.
Yeah, thanks, Tanner.
All right, thanks, Tanner. Yeah, man, it's just disappointing. It's just disappointing with the drops, and I think who was it that had a couple drops tonight? Who's the number 5 kid? It's not Sumo.
His name is Anthony Stevens Brown. He's a freshman.
Brown Stevens. That's who it is.
Brown Stevens. He's a freshman.
Yep.
And I mean, the one that I was talking about down the sideline that hit him in stride and was open. I mean, you can't drop those. Like, you can't call yourself a receiver. Just like I was talking about the punter a little bit ago. You can't call yourself a receiver and drop those.
Yeah. So 502-234-1504. Give us a shout. Give us your
Josh,
thoughts
I wish
I
knew what was going on with Kentucky receivers because this has been going on for 10 years. We have been dropping. We've had receivers drop passes for 10 years or actually longer than that because we had that problem when Joker Phillips was here. And Stoops is in his 11th year. So it's actually been way longer than that.
Yeah.
And I was watching a few things, highlights and stuff of Andre Woodson when he was playing under Rich Brooks.
I think we're getting
And
another
man,
call here.
what
Hold
a
that.
like that offense, talking about the speed of the game and everything. That
Yeah.
offense was so much better.
Hey, you're on with Talkin Kentucky. Who's this?
So this is Jared. How are you?
Jared. How's it going?
Hey, Jared.
Well, like you said earlier, I've been better.
Yeah, we all have, haven't we?
So, man, something I have not heard anybody talk about. And of course, we've heard all the talking points from everybody. Something I just wanted to point out and kind of get your guys' response on that and see what you guys thought. But at what point do we have to talk about that? Is there some concern? And again, I'm not trying to be ungrateful for what Stoops has done. And he's done, man, I used to drive for 3 hours to come watch us do spring ball when 7 people were in the stadium.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And so I get it. We're better than where we've been. I get it. I understand. But at what point in time do we have to talk about the fact that part of the Stoops era has been, at least during my lifetime, his success has been in a time when the SEC East has been at its worst, probably in the last 20 years, up until a couple years ago. You don't have Philip Fulmer at Tennessee. You don't have Spurrier at South Carolina. You don't have Urban Meyer at Florida.
Yeah. Well,
and, man, we've beaten 2 teams. I put this in the comment section earlier. We've beaten 2 teams in
with a winning
11
record
seasons under Stoops
that
finished with a winning record in the SEC.
Yeah.
2. And then
but at the same time,
here, killing us in year 2. Shane Beamer coming in, beating us in year 2. Drinkwitz coming in, beating us 2 out of 3, or I think it's 2 out of 4 years that he's been there now. So you have coaches that are surpassing what Stoops has done in 11 seasons.
Yeah.
In 2 or 3.
Yeah. Well, and on the one token, you've got Georgia, who's just kicking everybody's ass, right? But then I think the rest of I think this is a down year besides Georgia. Well, even for them, really. But I think this is a down year for the SEC as a whole. And, Alabama's down. You have them coming to town this year. You have an opportunity to beat them. I think that even Georgia, if we had been more ready to play, we could have made that a heck of a closer game. And I think
Vandy had them down early.
Yeah, Vandy was playing with Georgia.
Vandy had Georgia down early in the game.
To me, what the concerning thing is it's not that we're losing to Georgia. We should be. Georgia, when they're on, is going to kill basically everybody.
Right.
But when you are struggling to beat teams that you should be beating, when you've got 11 years of progress under your current coach and they've got 2 or 3, like that's a problem.
Well, especially the Shane Beamer thing. I think Stoops got out coached tonight. Certainly, I think that going into the game tonight, it was really just going to be a coaching job, honestly, because I think it was a coin flip as far as the talent on each side of the ball. Kentucky maybe even had the advantage in that area, but in terms of where each team was, is pretty much even. And I think it was all going to come down to coaching tonight, and that seemingly is what happened. So.
And let me tell you, man, and then I'll get off here and I'll leave you alone. I don't want to clog up your lines too long. But listen,
no, man.
I still think South Carolina is probably a losable game.
Oh, it absolutely. I think
Tennessee is a losable game.
I think every game.
What really worries me, so is Louisville.
Yeah, well, you're exactly right. I think.
And he is in his first year at Louisville, and in Stoops' 11th. And again, that's what worries me is. People are passing us up in a fraction of the amount of time. Because listen, we were in a better spot than Louisville was when Braun took the job.
Yeah,
Arnett's in his first year at Mississippi State too.
Yeah,
to me, that is really worrisome when coaches are coming in and surpassing you in short order of time when you've had that many seasons to get things figured out, and other guys are coming in and blowing your doors off, or like Tennessee did last year, or just out coaching you. Because listen, we've got better players than Missouri. We got more NIL than Missouri.
Yep. You're exactly right.
Man, that's worrisome.
Yeah, man, and I completely agree with you about the losable games thing. I think every game for the rest of the season is losable. I think you could lose every game for the rest of the season. I was going to say I think you could win every game for the rest of the season. I don't know if I can say that now, but I certainly think that you can lose every game for the rest of the season. So
Yeah, I do too. I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
No, thank you for calling in. Hope to hear from you again.
Yeah, thank you. I will, hopefully.
Absolutely. All right, thanks.
All right, man. Yeah, stay with us. We do this every week.
Yeah, we do it every
Post-game
week. So
shows.
yeah. Yep. Yeah, getting a lot of calls, Brad. Yeah, that's a positive. We're getting a lot of people calling in to the show, which is good. I like that. We always
It
like to hear
is.
from you
I
guys.
like to hear that we got some different people on with us tonight and getting a lot of different people in the chat and stuff with us as well. So, that's always nice to see. You always do tell me that you seem to get more after a loss than you do a win. And tonight might be proof of that. So,
I think it is proof of that. But to be clear, I don't like losing. I don't like losing. I would much rather win. So if we can have people on and win, I think that would be great. But anybody else wants to call in? 502-234-1504. We'll keep them coming as long as you all call in. We want to hear from you.
The last caller was talking about with Stoops. Here's my thing. I've been a big Stoops fan. I think Stoops climbed us out of the gutter. He's done a fantastic job. He's still doing a fantastic job in recruiting, getting us, top 25, top 30, top 15 class, stuff that Kentucky's never done. Okay. Yeah. Like I said, we have more 4- and 5-star players than we've ever had. However, what that caller's talking about is we have gotten to a point where he's taken us to a certain level, and now we need to see a consistent 8, 9, 10 wins in that area. And then if we can get to that, then we can dream and hope and attempt and try for, 11-1, maybe make the playoffs, but we got to climb another rung of the ladder before we can get to that. And now, the last year and a half, we have maybe even fell back just a notch.
Yeah. Possibly.
And Stoops has got to realize that and somehow get us going back in the right direction. 7-5 is not it, guys. I'm telling you, it's not it.
And going forward, when this 12-team playoff starts, it's entirely possible that Kentucky can make that 12-team playoff.
100%. And in 2018, we were the 11th ranked team.
Yep.
When Josh Allen was here and Benny Snell was here, and that 2018 team that went 10-3, the last poll, guys, we were ranked 11th. Do you know what that means? That means we could make the 12-team playoff.
Yep. We made playoff. Yeah.
And that was with 3 losses.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't that was 9-3 in the regular season. We went on and won the Citrus Bowl, but the final that come out before that. We were 11th at 9-3. So imagine if we could get to 10-2, we damn sure can make the playoffs. We don't have to beat Georgia. Yeah. I know that Kentucky fans last week were pissed off about Georgia, but we don't have to beat Georgia. What we have to do is do what this last caller was talking about and beat the Missouris and the South Carolinas. Since we're beating Florida, we got to beat the Mississippi States, and we got to beat the Missouris, and we got to beat the South Carolinas. And, we sure as hell got to beat the Vandies.
Yep.
And the last couple of years, we've went down a notch. I'm not saying we fell off, but we're not here. We're like here.
Yeah. Yep. So you're exactly right. We got to beat these teams that we quote unquote should be beat on a consistent basis. And you're right. We don't have to beat Georgia. I mean, it's Georgia. I mean, they've lost. They haven't lost a game in 2.5 years, folks. Like we don't have to beat Georgia. So if you want to deny it,
out of 37.
if you won tonight, it was going to be big, forgiveness. It was going to be a big swing game. It was going to be like we were going to forget about the pony up comments. We were going to forget about the Georgia loss, and we were going to move on into the bye week and get Tennessee on the other end. So now let's get in it as we sort of round out the show here. And again, we'd love to hear from you. Give us a call, 502-234-1504. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Let's look at the rest of the season. It's like, Brad, do you have any faith right now? Just think rationally, try to think realistically. Thinking of the team Tennessee is this year and knowing how we come out of a bye week. Do you have any faith that we can come out and turn things around and beat Tennessee out of the bye week?
Honestly, the answer to that is really no. But at the same time, I want to say let's wait and see what we look like in the first half. But I mean, tonight, the first quarter, we're up 14-0. Look like we're gonna, maybe not run away with this game, but look like we're gonna control this game and have a decent night, and then we just get run, So even if we start the game fast against Tennessee, who knows what's going to happen,
Yeah. Well, it wouldn't be surprising, if Kentucky loses to Missouri and beats Alabama or something. That would be a very Kentucky football thing to do.
Shane, I agree with Mike Dowd. I thought that's what the Cohen hire was supposed to be.
Yeah, right. Talking about Shane said, I wondered if we are one high-profile assistant coach away from being elite. You're exactly right, Brad and Mike. I do think that's what Cohen is supposed to be. And I don't think Cohen has called bad games. I actually think against Georgia, Cohen had a great game plan, and I thought in the first quarter
he had a great game plan tonight. It was the first 2 or 3 drives. Again, the same thing tonight. Yep. But after that, I don't think that he has the same feel for the game in the booth that he had on the sideline. And I'll say it again. I think he needs to be on the sideline.
I think it makes a difference. I don't know why, but I think it makes a difference. And I think that would be I think that's
he's doing really well. Handcrafting, scheming, sketching out the first part of the games, but then we lose it. We're not the same team after that. Yeah. You take the first 3 drives, we look pretty good, sketching out plays, having 15, 20, 25 plays, and then it's a feel for the game. You got to examine how the game's going. It's a feel for the game, and I just don't think he is getting that same feel in the booth that he gets on the sideline.
Yeah. No, I would agree with that. I mean, I'm not surprised about that. But well, guys, if you haven't already, go ahead and like our page. We're on all these things that you see down here at the bottom: Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast. I'm the host of Talkin Kentucky. I host it with my friend Caden Holmes. We do a post-game show, and we do a lot of other content. We do an episode every Thursday night at 8 o'clock Eastern time, right here live on our Facebook page and live on YouTube and Twitter as well. Brad here is the host of College SportsCast. Yep.
And we do shows on Tuesday and Thursdays at 8 p.m. Central. And then on Sunday, we do a weekend wrap-up show. It's at 3 o'clock Central Time. So we do 3 shows a week. Tuesday's show is kind of a hot topic and debate show. Thursday's show is a game day pick'em where we pick 12 games against the spread. And then Sunday's show is a weekend wrap-up show. So we talk about all the games. We'll talk about how USC got curb stomped tonight and,
yeah, that's not a bad thing.
Not quite curb stomped. I'm just saying they got their hind ends beat tonight.
Yeah.
There's a few surprising scores. Arizona beat the snot out of Washington State at Washington State 44-6 today.
Yeah.
What's up with that score? And I don't know if you guys caught the Colorado score last night.
Yeah. in the halftime score versus the final score. Yeah,
what in the hell? Like I bet on that. I picked on that game. Okay, and they were my lock because Stanford sucks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they do.
And somehow they scored more points in that one game than they've scored all damn season.
Yeah. Well, all we can do
just
now.
Just a hint. If you guys want to talk to me about Deion Sanders, now's not a good time.
Yeah. No, it's not a good time. That's not a good time.
I'm just saying. It's not a good
time. Well, all we can do now is hope that we rest up and get healthy over the bye week, and then go into Tennessee. And
I said it last week, Coleman. Where is Kenneth Horsey?
He was here tonight. He played tonight, didn't he?
Did he play tonight?
I'm pretty sure he started tonight. I could be mistaken about that. Let us know in the comments if anybody knows. I'm pretty sure Kenneth Horsey played tonight. Don't know that for sure, but I think he did. I don't know if that would show up on the box score at all, but let us know if anybody knows that.
It wouldn't show up on the box score. And I was working. I missed.
Mike said he
played.
He
did.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I missed. I was working, didn't get in to around halftime, so I just missed it.
Yeah, he did play. But man,
Jeremy Flax had a whiff tonight. Two or three of them late in the game, and I mean, Jesus. I don't know how you can be an offensive lineman and stand up and be in pass block and just watch a dude just run right by you. Head turns and just watch a dude run right by you.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell's that about?
Like, undisciplined.
You're a pass blocking offensive lineman, and you just stand up and just watch it. Don't even move over. Don't put your hands out. Don't push forward. Just stand straight up and watch the dude just run right by you.
Yeah. Yeah. And Mike says Cox had 2 major holding calls. Yeah, he did. 2 big ones.
Again?
Yes.
No. Burton's the one that had him. So it was Cox tonight. Okay.
Yeah, but Cox has had a few this year too. But yeah, Burton didn't play tonight. I think he was hurt.
Did he not?
Burton didn't play tonight.
Hallelujah. Burton would after last week. I said it last week. You know I did, Coleman. Burton would have been benched.
Well, I don't know if he was benched. I don't know if he was just hurt or
I'm telling you right now, if I was coaching, Jagger Burton would be benched.
Yeah.
You don't.
I agree with you.
You don't hit somebody in the back face down in the dirt after a play.
Nope.
I don't give a damn if you're one of the highest 4 or 5 star linemen that we've ever had or not. I don't care.
Yeah. Yep. Mike says he was on the injured list here. So, so I think
there's a reason why he was on the injured list.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Shane says, I still think Ford should be starting over Flax, USC transfer, and he played great when Flax was hurt. At this point, Shane, I agree with you. Like, why not try? I mean, you brought him in for a reason.
No, that number 6 on Missouri, and I didn't catch his name. Like I said, I only watched the second half, but there was twice, and I'm not kidding you, twice Flax just stood up, once on the inside and once on the outside, and just watched him go right by.
We'll do a little last call for calls here. I think Josh tried to call again, but since we're getting a lot of callers tonight, we won't do any double dipping tonight, Josh. So we'll love you, but we'll keep it to single calls tonight. But 502-234-1504. Anybody else wants to call in?
It's like they're a bullfighter waving the red flag. Olé! Olé! Olé!
You remember the first game when on the block punt? Actually, no, it was against Eastern on the block punt when the guy completely that was supposed to block just completely watched the Eastern player run past him and block the punt. That was crazy, man. Yeah. So
Olé!
it's just it's just undisciplined. Tanner says, forgot to
mean-
ask you all, Tennessee, who's the best player you all think we have got out in Kentucky? Oh, forgot that, not Tennessee. Okay. Forgot to ask you all tonight. See, when I see TN, I think Tennessee.
Yeah.
Tennessee's on my mind now that we're getting ready to play. But forgot to ask you tonight, who's the best player you think we've gotten out of Kentucky in the Stoops era? That's a good question. I think that
In Kentucky?
out of Kentucky. Brad, it might be somebody that's coming in next year, Cutter Bowley. Could be. What do you think?
Could be.
Where'd Josh Allen come from? He went from Kentucky, was he?
No,
I don't
he
think
was
he
from the
was.
Northeast. He was from the Northeast, like Connecticut or
Mike
somewhere
says
up in
JJ
there.
Weaver. Is he from Kentucky? I didn't realize that.
Yeah, he's from Louisville. He's from Louisville. Mm-hmm.
Wandale Robinson. That's a good call. He's
Yeah,
from my
Wandale
hometown.
Robinson, Jared Wells. Yeah, that's a good call.
He's
How
from
about
Frankfort, my hometown? Yeah. Shout out
the
Western
linebacker that done the waters like he was
Cash
the wrestler Cash Daniels. Thank you. I can't remember anybody's name anymore. Cash Daniels was a pretty good linebacker, guys.
I think if you look at who was the best player at Kentucky and then going on to the pros, like overall package and best coming out of high school, answer probably is Wandale, I would have to say. Shane says Cash Daniels my favorite. Yeah. How can you not love Cash? How can you not love Cash? Yeah. Tanner said I had high hopes for Jason Hatcher back in the day. I don't know that name.
Jason Hatcher. I know. I remember he was a real high 4-star kid, done absolutely nothing at Kentucky. Nothing. Transferred after his sophomore year.
Mike Dowdson
didn't do a damn thing.
Robinson turned us down at first.
And then he got in some trouble after he transferred, and I don't know that he ever played, to be honest.
Yeah. Robinson went to Nebraska, then he transferred to Kentucky. So from my hometown there, Wandale Robinson. Shout out Wolverines, Western Hills Wolverines. Josh's favorite player was Tim Couch. Yeah, we could use some Tim Couch.
I love me some Deuce.
Yeah, we gotta love Tim Couch, but man.
So I don't know if you guys know this or not, but my brother-in-law played with Tim Couch.
I didn't know that, Brad. Nice, that's cool. Who's that?
Yeah, I don't tell people a whole lot because he's not. Well, he's a great dude, and he's my brother-in-law. I love him. Married to my sister for close to 20 years. I don't know, long time now. Yeah. Jeff Zerker. He was actually the leading tackler of that 98 team. He was a safety, number 42.
Well, we could use him too. I think these days. Jared says, is Antonio Hall still the highest rated recruit ever? I don't know the answer to that, but
I don't think so. I think Keontae Goodwin was.
He could have been.
I think Keontae Goodwin was, to be honest with you. Hell, Barry and Brown was pretty damn high. He was in the top 100.
Is Cutter Bowley higher?
No, not than Antonio Hall was. I want to say that Keontae Goodwin was higher.
Scott Holmes says Barnhart, I assume he means there, needs to cut Stoops' pay in half. It's hard to believe they pay that guy almost as much as they do Cal. Actually, Scott, they pay Stoops more than they pay Cal.
He's $9.013 million, and Cal is 8.5.
Yep. Yeah. So Stoops gets paid more. I've never had much faith in Stoops' ability as a coach, and when things go south, he's always blaming somebody else. And Brad, I think the in-game management, especially clock management, and especially at the end of the
Justin
first half,
Rogers, Mike Dowd.
Never been good.
That's who you're talking about.
Yeah, Justin Rogers there. He was
Justin Rogers is another really highly one. that
Yeah.
we had. Yeah.
Yeah. Tanner Hayden, last 8 quarters we've been outscored 89-20. Yeah, we mentioned that at the beginning of the show. Yeah, it's that's a crazy stat. I mean, that's insane. So yeah, Stoops gets paid more than Cal, Brad. I mean, that's insane, isn't it? Stoops gets paid. He's one of the top 10 highest paid coaches in the country.
He's 8th in the country.
Yep.
And can't win home games against Missouri and Vandy.
That's not good.
I love him. I do. I promise. He's taken us to a place that I never thought I would see, Kentucky consistently near the top 25 or in the top 25 like we have been, the past 5 years. I mean, there's a lot of good things, but he's taken us to a point and then we've just kind of fallen back just a little and we can't get nowhere. We're just stuck here.
Jared Wells says the Florida game a few years ago where we kept leaving the wide receiver open in front of the bench made me almost destroy my TV. So, Jared, I was at that game. If this is the game you're talking about, back in Kentucky, like when it was in Lexington,
it was either 17 or 19.
I think it was 2018, where we left the wide receiver uncovered, like when we had 10 guys out there instead of 11. I was at that game, and I didn't have a TV to throw, but I think I literally cried at that game out of frustration. Like that was I think to this day the most heartbreaking or disappointing, frustrating, whatever you want to say, Kentucky game I've ever been to. Yeah, that was a tough one, Brad. You remember that one?
Yeah, absolutely.
But
Josh, you keep asking about the receivers. So what's up with? I mean, Barry and Brown and Dane Key are 2 4-star kids. Barry and Brown was a top 100 player, okay, and in his class, and they have the talent. Here's the deal. It's kind of like a snowball. It's snowballing. Like, they've had a bad game or two, and it's contagious. And they just, they can't get it's in their head, it's in their mind, and they can't get past. I mean, tonight when Leary threw that bad interception that he was trying to throw to Barry and Brown, the dude runs out of bounds, and Barry and Brown, 3 yards out of bounds, just hauls off and shoves him and pushes him.
Yep.
It's mental. It's mental. The reason why they're playing that way is it's mental.
Yep. I really think it is. And doesn't that go back to coaching?
It does.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that's on Stoops. Scott Woodyard is the wide receiver coach, I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Wait, he was a few years ago. I don't know who it is now. I don't know. Whoever it is, they need to teach him how to catch the ball. That would be.
I'm trying to think. Is that right? Is he the wide receiver coach? I think he might be.
I can't think. He might be. I don't know. Maybe we're gonna have to find that out here.
Tanner says wide receiver coach Woodward. That's what I thought.
Okay, then he is there. We're just going to go ahead and say that Tanner has confirmed that there. He's our fact checker. Jared says, I hate to say it, Brad, but I think Stoops has hit his ceiling.
I absolutely hate to say it. I really, really love the job that Stoops has done. I really, really I don't think that anybody else could have came here and would have been given the time to figure out how to get us to a 7, 8, 9, couple of 10 win seasons. I don't know that anybody else could have done that.
Yeah.
But I just think that we got to a level and we've fallen back a little bit and we are stagnant. And now we're thinking, okay, can we get to 7 wins?
Yeah.
That's not where we are, guys. That's not where we want to be.
No, It's not. It's not. Tanner says, how long before Brad White leaves for a different OC job or DC job? I don't think Tanner.
If it keeps going like it is, he may hightail pretty soon.
So here's the thing. I don't think he'll leave for another DC job. I think he would leave for a head coaching job. But yeah, Brad, like with these couple performances, it might keep him around at Kentucky. Honestly, I don't know that anybody else is gonna offer him.
If he gets an offer, he might hightail pretty soon if it keeps going the way it has been the last 2 weeks.
Well, I mean, that's another thing. Like, what about? And I've wondered about this too with Mark Stoops' pony up comments and everything. At what point do the coaches like get frustrated and say, okay, well, the NIL funds aren't here for us to be able to do what we want and go to a school that does have a better NIL thing in place? I mean, do you think that's a possibility? Which I think is terrible, by the way. I think NIL is ruining college athletics. I hate it. But do you think we're going to start seeing that? You know, some of these coaches kind of moving around, just going to the good NIL schools, not necessarily the good traditional schools kind of thing?
Maybe.
Yeah.
So I saw somebody up there saying, if Stoops left, who would you go after, or who would be a good replacement, or whatever. And I'm going to throw a name out at y'all, and y'all are probably going to tell me I'm crazy. But I'm going to throw a name out.
Okay.
Dan Mullen.
I mean,
he's available.
He was an offensive coordinator option for us a couple years ago.
He's done an awfully good job in the SEC. Even at Florida. Yeah. I know his ending, but if you look at the 3 years and half a season that he was here, we won't go after Stoops. Barnhart is not Stoops.
We don't go after Stoops. Yeah,
I meant Deion.
Dude.
Barnhart is not going after Deion Sanders. I'm sorry, y'all.
Yeah, I don't.
That's not a match.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. It would be kind of cool to get old Coach Prime here.
Can you see Kentucky's president, Cap, whatever his name is, and Barnhart coexisting with prime time?
Let's get some Deion going, man. I'm all about it.
That would be hilarious. That would be hilarious to even think about, much less watch.
Yeah, no, it would. Mullen is not insane. I mean,
listen, he's available. He's a good SEC coach. Look what he did with, and I don't listen. A good trivia question that you guys have with your friends. Okay, what team was the very first college football playoff rankings #1 team?
Mississippi State.
Who was the coach?
Dan Mullen. It was the Dak Prescott team, right? Yep.
The very first in 2014, the very first poll that came out for the college football rankings, who was the #1 team in the country? It was Mississippi State Bulldogs with Dan Mullen as the coach and Dak Prescott as the quarterback.
Josh Hart says, I want Brad Harvey as head coach at UK. I mean, you would sit Jagger Burton, so that's a start.
Hell yeah, I would. I can promise you that. He definitely would be on the injured list. I can promise you that.
Well, he is on the injured list, so that's a thing. But yeah, guys, I don't even know. I don't really have much else to say other than it's disappointing tonight, man. I don't even know what else you say. And are we good? Do we have the potential to be good, or are we bad? I don't.
2 weeks ago, Coleman, when we were talking after the Florida game, we looked dominant, and that's what's so frustrating is that we go from that to what we've looked like the last 2 weeks, and you're shaking your head. You're just like, what the hell's going on here? Like, how do we go from that to this? That's why I say it's fool's gold. Like,
yeah,
can we not do? Can we not do that with other SEC teams? I don't like. How is it that we manhandle Florida, the Gators of all damn teams, in the swamp, at home? Hell, it don't matter. But we can't, run roughshod on anybody else in the SEC.
Yeah.
Now, how is that?
I mean, Florida won today. They beat South Carolina. So it's not like Florida's bad. I don't think Florida's bad, Brad.
But that's my point. How do we manhandle a decent Florida team and make them look like shit? And then and then look like trash ourselves against Georgia and 3/4 against Missouri.
I mean, Tanner brings up a good point here. We have potential. We were without Wallace, our best defensive player tonight. So that's true. Trevon Wallace was out. And when Trevon Wallace is out, Brad, that's a big loss. I mean, that's like losing half your defense. I mean, it really is. I mean, that guy is all over the field.
Yeah, so. we was without Wallace tonight on defense, which doesn't help. But when you look at the numbers tonight on defense, it really wasn't that bad. Somehow we figured out how to give up 300 yards and 38 damn points.
Yeah, that's the thing that's puzzling to me is how this because the defense looked so dominant the first half of the year. I mean, it really did. So and Jared says Florida's a bad team. I don't know that they are. I mean, I'm not convinced that Florida's bad. I think they're at least decent. I think they're
5-2. They beat Tennessee. Yes. How do you say that? They come back and beat South Carolina. They've beat Tennessee. I mean, I'm not ready to say Florida is a bad team. They're not what they used to be. They're not on that level.
It's I mean, Jared says here the difference is coaching. And I agree with you. He says Napier isn't a good coach. Drink is. Unfortunately, we lose when we play good coach. And
you might have a point,
guys,
Jared.
I really don't like Eli Drinkwitz. I think he's a complete nerd, but he is a good coach, and Napier's not. I mean, Napier's going to be gone at Florida within the next, if not this year, the next year. I think. I don't think Napier lasts at Florida. But
if he can build on 5-2 to start this season, he's not going anywhere.
Florida fans are irrational though. Florida fans, you got to remember, Florida fired what's his face, Jim McElwain, after they won the SEC East.
Well, and Dan Mullen was fired, and they had won the SEC East and played in the SEC championship game.
You're exactly right, man. That's so. I mean, they're going to get rid of Napier, right? There's no way Cajun Billy or whatever they call him is going to last. So or no, they call him what is it? Not Pac-12, whatever conference. It's Sunbelt Billy, something like that.
Sunbelt Billy or something like that. Yeah, something like that.
But Claude says Sunset Billy there. Yeah. Sunbelt Billy. Okay, before we get off here, I want everybody to put in the comments, what do you think our final record is going to be? Okay, as we start to wrap up here, everybody put in the comments, what do you think our final record is going to be? So
I'm still going to say 8-4, guys. That's what I said at the beginning of the season. I said that we would lose to Georgia, Tennessee, and Alabama, and that somehow we would figure out how to lose at least one of Missouri, Mississippi State, South Carolina, or Louisville. That's what I said.
Claude says 5-7. Jared says 7-6, which I guess would be 7-5 and a loss in the bowl game. Mike Dowd says 6-6. Tanner says 8-4, beat Tennessee, Mississippi State, and Louisville. Josh Hart says 8-4, and that's not acceptable. And Jared says 7-6, 2 more wins versus South Carolina and Vandy. And Mike Dowd says 6-7 after the bowl game. So nobody has us at more than 8 wins. I think, Brad, I'm probably gonna go 7-5. Would probably be my final record after tonight. So yeah, I'd probably
all of you guys. This is trash. Okay, just so y'all know, that's not it. I'm telling y'all, that's not it. And
it's not.
Every Kentucky fan needs to let Barnhart know that's not it. If that happens, that's not it. Yep. 8-4 is better than last year. I'll take it.
Shane says 6-6. Tanner says 6-7.
Yeah, we've already played Vandy.
Yeah, we've already played Vandy, so we can't beat him again. Wish we could. Yeah, that's a good point. So Jared, South Carolina, and who would your other win be? Since we already played Vandy, that's good. That's a good point. But my thing is, Brad, is let's talk about the receivers just a little bit more. These guys are so fast. Like Barian Brown is a fast human being.
Track athlete. Fast. Like I'm talking like top 10 in the world fast.
So here's my thing. Why is Barian Brown not just torching people? Why is Barian Brown not getting wide open downfield? Like how? He's not one time through 7 games has Barian Brown been open. Not one time. And when he has been somewhat open,
crossing routes, but if you're talking about a go route, I haven't seen him open.
Like a go route. Yeah. Why is he just not torched people on a go route? Jared says Mississippi State, LOL. Yeah, they're one and the same this year. Vandy, Mississippi State. I mean, they're kind of the same level. So
Dorian Baker. I remember him. Yeah.
Tanner says, Brad, what were you saying about Barnhart?
Which comment? I can't. You talking about the Deion Sanders and Barnhart comment? That'd be hilarious.
Oh yeah, that's what you're saying there. Yeah, I don't know how Barian just hadn't absolutely torched people. And the other thing, Brad, is Kentucky has not had a quarterback break 3,000 yards in a season.
This is so sad, y'all.
Well, in the Stoops era, Kentucky has not had a quarterback.
I want to give y'all Mike Hartline is the last Kentucky quarterback that broke 3,000 yards.
And we booed him, by the way. As a fan base, but pretty hardcore. But Brad, that shouldn't be something that's that hard to do. Like we should be able to get a quarterback that can throw 3,000 yards in a season, and that to me is the biggest reason that this program
ball.
Well,
everybody says run the damn ball. Just run the damn ball. I'm going to get me a slogan started that says catch the damn ball.
Yeah, good. Catch the damn ball. Let's make some. Make catching great again. Yeah. Something like that.
Catch the damn ball. Like, seriously. Yeah. It's got to be in that tone. Not like,
Tanner says,
one more time, y'all. Catch the damn ball. I mean, come on.
Tanner says tolls didn't break 3K. I don't believe so.
Nope.
Unless I'm mistaken, I don't believe he did. No.
Nope. He got close. I think he got like 27 or 2,800 one year. Tolles did, but he didn't break 3,000. The last Kentucky quarterback that broke 3,000 yards was Mike Hartline, and I'm not so sure that he didn't do it twice.
Yeah.
I'd have to look it up, but I'm not so sure that he didn't do it twice.
Yeah, Mike says you stick them if you have to. Yeah. Yeah, put some sticky stuffs on the gloves, Let's get some things going there.
I know that everybody's jumping on Leary, but seriously, man, catch the damn ball.
It's not all his fault. It's not all Leary's fault. It's not. So, yeah, it's just crazy. It's unbelievable. I mean, we have more drop passes than anybody in the country, by the way, in case y'all didn't know. Like, nobody drops the ball more than we do, like, literally.
Dane Key leads the country. Kentucky leads the country.
Hey, I'm gonna go down some Corey Price stats and read some of these out for y'all. Because Corey's the man. I don't know how he finds this stuff, but it's awesome. Corey says tonight is the first time since World War II that Kentucky lost a game by at least 17 points in which they once had a lead of at least 14 points. Since World War II. Coming into tonight, Kentucky was 13-2 overall and had won 12 straight with at least 10 penalties in the Mark Stoops era. Tonight was the first time that Kentucky had more penalty yards than passing yards since January 2nd, 2021 against North Carolina State. Kentucky is 5-7 after the bye week in the Mark Stoops era. Kentucky is now 4-10 in their game immediately following the Georgia game during their current losing streak to the Georgia Bulldogs. This is the first time that Kentucky has lost consecutive games by at least 17 points since November 21st and 28th, 2020 versus Alabama and Florida. This is the first time that Kentucky has allowed at least 38 points in consecutive games since November 18th and 25th of 2017, Georgia and Louisville. Kentucky's first two drives of the game tonight, 18 plays for 128 yards and 14 points. Kentucky's last 11 drives of the game, 40 plays, 158 yards, 7 points. That's of the last 11 plays of the game. Kentucky has allowed 34 points in their final 3 minutes of the second quarter in the last 4 games, in which I think we said that.
And I'd love to know how many we've scored in the last 3 minutes of the second quarter.
Yeah, probably 0. Yeah, probably.
I bet it ain't much.
Yep.
Might be a goose egg.
Yep. So, Tanner Hayden says Kentucky is 128th out of 133 in the FBS in drop percentage. What do we have to do to get Rich Brooks to coach this team? I'm the biggest Rich Brooks fan in the world, Tanner. I agree with you. I love me
I
some
like
Rich
Brooks, but Brooks is what, 82 or something like that.
I mean he's
on.
not gonna come back, but I love me some Coach Brooks for sure.
Maybe we could get Mark Richt to come here.
Yeah. Georgia ran him off.
He ain't coaching nowhere.
Jared
Maybe we get him up here.
I can feel it. I'm going to end up bald by the end of the season. Tanner says if we go 10-2, which I don't think happens, can we make it to the Sugar Bowl, or is it back to Orlando? If we go 10-2, we make New Year's 6. Yeah, but I don't think that's happening. But if we were to win out, Brad, I think we go to New Year's 6 game, don't you?
Well, yeah.
I don't know though.
If we can go 10-2, yeah, I think we could.
I don't even know about the Sugar Bowl though, because the SEC is so good this year.
Yeah, I don't know about the Sugar Bowl, but I think we might. I think we might make a New Year's 6 bowl. But I'm going to give y'all the percentage that happens. Calculate it in my head right now. I think it's 0.0000022222.
Two. You got some 2s in there. Okay, I'm glad you got some 2s in there. Well, that's good.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. No, I think so too. But Yeah, that won't happen. Nobody take that out of context, by the way. When we just said, yeah, we'd probably go to the Sugar Bowl. Yeah, we're not saying that's going to happen. Yeah, so nobody screen record that or anything. So these idiots think we're going to the Sugar Bowl. Yeah,
Les Miles wouldn't be bad.
yeah.
Get old Ed Orgeron and Les Miles. They could be the.
Hey, I'd take Ed
coordinator.
Orgeron. Hey, Les Miles. I don't know if I'd take any Les Miles. They just
Cats.
yeah. I don't know if I'd take some Les Miles, but hey, I would take some Ed Orgeron.
Go Cats.
Yeah, I think I'd take some Orgeron for sure. Hey, Lance Leopold at Kansas. Hey, he's done well there.
He has. I'm not sure that he's a great defensive coach, and the defense doesn't get over the hump at Kansas. But
is Stoops getting fired though? I mean, they're not. Barnhart's not going to fire Stoops. I mean, what would it take? Well, no, not this year for sure. But what would it take for Stoops to actually get fired here? For us to not be bowl eligible for 3-4 years.
I mean, if the wheels of the wagon actually fall off, Coleman, and we go 5-7 and miss a bowl game after being 5-0, and then we don't look good and don't play well next year, and possibly lose a bowl or not make a bowl, whatever. Maybe. I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility.
I think, it is just 2 weeks. So we do have to keep everything in perspective. We do have to keep everything. We lost to Georgia. Yeah, everybody loses to Georgia. I mean, I'm not trying to discount.
Contract, his buyout is $4.5 million, and it actually goes up $500,000 each year. Yeah,
that's right. You're right about that. Forgot about that.
It goes up $500,000 each year.
We do have to keep in the larger picture in context here, and I mean, we go back to the stats somebody said about we've only beaten 2 teams with a winning record in the SEC or something like that. You have to take that with a grain of salt because Brad.
There was a time Kentucky would be lucky if they could win 1 or 2 SEC games, period.
Kentucky's only had a winning record in the SEC, I think, twice in my lifetime.
Like maybe 4 times in my lifetime?
Ever.
In my lifetime? Like in my lifetime? Something like that?
Yeah. So I mean, we do have to keep everything in perspective. So, I mean, Stoops has done a great job to get us where we are.
These people that are saying, well, he's not beating winning teams. Well, in the SEC, I'm here to tell y'all there's been a many, 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 many years in Kentucky football's history where we're lucky if we win 2 SEC games against the weakest damn people that we could possibly win against.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of 1 and 0 wins in the SEC for Kentucky.
Yeah, there have. I mean, I've been in the stadium when we were losing to Vanderbilt 48-0. So that was a thing too, but
I mean, I was in the stadium when Randall Cobb basically had to put the whole damn team on his back against Vanderbilt. I don't know if you guys remember that, but like he did everything. Like he was quarterback, he was catching passes, he was wildcat quarterback, he was punt returning, he was the damn water boy. He was running out the damn water. He's running going back.
Wasn't he the hot dog? Wasn't he the hot dog? Boy?
Yeah. You went to the concession stand and Cobb was selling hot dogs. I mean,
yep.
I'm serious. Cobb was doing everything.
Yeah. Damn. What? Go Cats, but damn.
Yeah.
That's how to sum it up. Well, Well, guys, we could vent all night, but just we want to thank everybody for tuning in and everything, and thanks for venting your frustration with us, and thanks for a little group therapy happening here tonight. We
Yeah.
really appreciate y'all checking us out. We'd really appreciate if you guys followed us on Facebook and find us on Spotify, and go ahead and hit subscribe and rate us on there. We really appreciate that. That really helps us out a lot. And we hope to see y'all back here because it's fun when we get a bunch of people on here talking. And hopefully next time it could be after a win. So we do this after every single game.
Next week is a bye week, by the way,
yeah.
guys.
Next week is a bye week.
Next week's a bye week, so we will not be with you after the game next week. Hopefully, these damn idiots can figure out how to win the bye week.
Yeah, we got to beat the bye. We're gonna be a 6-point underdog to the bye week next week. So Tanner says I'm gonna share y'all to people. Tanner, I really appreciate that, man. That would be awesome. These are good stuff. This is my first night. Yeah, thanks for hopping on with us, man. We hope to
hey, man, we love to see you guys. Tell people about us. I was telling this last week before we got off the show and got off the air. Tell your friends. I know you're Cat fans. I know you have family and friends and everybody else that are Cat fans. So please tell some people about us. We're trying to build this, and we love to see you guys on with us and talking Cats, whether we win or lose. I'm still wearing my stuff tonight. You guys can see this. It's in my DNA. I don't know if you can see what that shirt says. There it is.
Yeah.
Green Bay and UK. It's in my DNA. This is a custom made shirt, by the way. And, so I'm a long time. I mean, I was born a Cat fan. I have another shirt that says before you were born, and it's got UK on it. And
Mike says y'all going to be here for basketball. Yeah, we'll be around for basketball too. We'll do basketball post games as well. So
this one's Coleman's show. So
yeah,
I'll be on if Coleman wants me to be on. So
yeah, Brad, we'll have you on, and we do our regular show with my co-host Caden Holmes every Thursday night at 8:00 Eastern time, live right here, and we leave it up afterwards and post it on Spotify and things. We talked a lot about Corey Price's stats tonight. I've actually been texting him a little bit. He's been on our show before, and he's going to come on our show next week too. I believe we're trying to confirm that, but he's going to come on for the bye week show, and we're gonna talk some stats midseason. We're going to talk some Kentucky basketball too. So I always love having Corey on. He's become a friend of mine, and looking forward to have him on too. So you all be sure to follow us for basketball, and we're year round. We even do shows in the summer too. So just be sure to follow our page for all the keep up to date on when we're going live and doing shows and all that kind of stuff. So we've had Freddie Maggard on the show. We've had we've had Maggie Davis on the show.
Maggie Davis,
yeah, we had Maggie Davis on the show. We're working on some other big ones, like I said. Yeah, it's been good stuff. So Tanner said, keep Brad on. I'm going to keep calling in. Yeah, man. Hey, every Thursday and then every post game. And you be sure to follow Brad's show too, College SportsCast.
My show's College SportsCast. Look me up on YouTube. I'm on everywhere. I'm on Apple, Spotify. I'm on Facebook. You can look me up anywhere. Like,
yeah,
any podcast thing or anything. Like, you can just punch in College SportsCast on Google and it shows up. So several of my stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, just that's pretty much all you need to do. Just Google us. Yeah, just Google it. Talking Kentucky or College SportsCast or both. But yeah, guys, thanks. It's always great to have a lot of people on here. So y'all follow us. Y'all keep coming back. And hey, why don't we end with a little good omen here for the Tennessee game from Kaywood Led.
God bless you, and good luck, and go kick Tennessee's ass.
Well, let's do that. Let's do that.
Exactly. Y'all have no idea. He was my child. Like, I know that most people probably really, really liked the players. Okay. Kaywood Lepford was my childhood hero. I used to sit.
Here's mine too. Here's mine too.
I used to sit and pretend that I was Kaywood, that I could be Kaywood Lepford. I'm serious. Well, I'm talking about when I was like 8 or 6, when I was like real little growing up. Okay.
Yeah.
That was his last speech in the Tennessee game to the Cats before he retired. Now he went on and done the basketball, but that was to the football team.
Yeah.
Just so you guys know, that was Kaywood's last call at home, for the Tennessee versus Kentucky game. Go out there, play that one more time. I want to hear it one more time.
Okay, I'll let's roll
one more
that
time.
clip.
God bless you, and good luck, and go kick Tennessee's ass.
That's what we need to do.
Kick Tennessee's ass.
And Jared says, please do. I hate Tennessee and I live here. Nobody looks good in garbage truck man orange. Yeah, that's exactly right. And hey, our most viral video on my Talkin Kentucky page is just a video of a dumpster fire with Rocky Top playing over top of it. I'll have to send it to you after this, Jared.
Inside of the pumpkin orange.
Inside of the pumpkin orange. That's right. And I don't like pumpkins. Yeah, that's right. So but yeah, Kaywood was the goat, man. Kaywood was the goat, man. When I was I would mute the TV and I would like commentate games with the TV muted. I would when there was that old Kentucky basketball museum, which they got rid of, sadly, they had a little corner dedicated to Kaywood Ledford. You could go over and you
Kaywood was the man, script. And I'm not even playing. I used to back in my day, all these games wasn't on TV, okay? But even when the Cats were on TV, I used to turn the TV on and turn Kaywood on and turn the TV down and mute the TV and listen to Kaywood.
That's how you do it. That's how you do it, man. I did the same thing.
And go kick Tennessee's ass. That's our next game. All right. We got a bye week, and then we come back, and you better go kick Tennessee's ass, especially after the last 2 games. You better go kick Tennessee's ass. And if Mark Stoops is not preaching that, there's something wrong.
There is. And I will say
I'm talking about for the next 2 weeks, he's got 14 days to hammer that home.
Yep.
Y'all better go kick Tennessee's ass.
And it's at home too. It's at home too. So hopefully we get that crowd behind us too, right? But
because Kaywood Ledford said so.
Yeah, because Kaywood Ledford said so. Yeah, but Steve Austin, or whatever, so-called Steve Austin, yeah. But if we do, let me say this, and then we'll get out of here. If we do beat Tennessee, I think a lot of things will be forgiven. If we go blow out Tennessee, I think some sins will be forgiven. Brad.
Oh yeah, I think so. Yeah,
I think so. So that's all we got to do. Just get right, go beat Tennessee. We can still have a decent year. We still have let's do the 10-2 thing, like Tanner was saying. Well, let's just do it. Let's go beat Bama, Tennessee. Let's just go 10-2. Well, guys, thanks for checking us out. We really appreciate it. And yeah, go follow us. We hope to see y'all back here next time. Hope to see you back here next Thursday night for our show.
I would trade beating Tennessee from Missouri. I'm just going to be honest. If I had to pick,
there's no doubt.
I would trade beating. If you told me I had to pick one of these 2 games to win, I would trade beating Tennessee for Missouri.
Listen, if I could only win 1 game a year, beat Tennessee. There's no doubt. There's no doubt. So, well, for Coleman Scott, for Brad Harvey, this has been the Talking Kentucky postgame show, and let's just go beat Tennessee. Let's regroup. Let's put these games behind us, and let's go get right in the bye week. Right, Brad?
Absolutely. Go kick Tennessee's ass.
Go kick Tennessee's ass. All right. Thank you guys very much for checking us out. Go follow us so you don't miss stuff, especially on YouTube. That's the big one. You got to follow us on YouTube. And we'll see you guys next time. We really appreciate it. Thanks again for checking us out and hanging with us, guys. It's always fun to have you all on here. We couldn't do this without y'all. So thanks for being on here. So for
we've
Coleman
done a
Scott,
long one tonight. We got a little carried away.
We did a long one tonight, but
we had some people on with us having some fun. So yeah.
The fan base needed it. After a loss like this, I feel like we need this. We need each other in times like this. So yeah. Well, so for Coleman Scott and for Brad Harvey, this has been the Talking Kentucky postgame show. We'll see y'all next time. Go Cats.
Go Cats.